Welcome to Tucson, Arizona for the WPH R48 Pro Season Number 2 semifinals. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside Anthony Celesto for this match. Anthony, it's Emmett Peixoto, who played inspired handball yesterday for the first time probably in almost 3 years, 2 years or so since we've seen him at this form, up against Alan Garner, who defeated Luis Moreno yesterday in the quarterfinals, which is no big surprise because Alan has a 13-2 lifetime record or so with Luis, but here it is now, a great matchup. Back in the old days, Emmett Peixoto used to defeat Alan Garner, and then Alan started making this surgence back in about 2009 or so, and then they started splitting, with Alan then sort of getting more momentum as of late. So it's going to be an interesting matchup here today as we get ready for this one. What will Alan have to do to take down the Emmett we saw yesterday?
I think that he's going to have to really use his power and keep Emmett in the backcourt. Emmett's a very good getter. As we saw yesterday, he was able to retrieve a lot of things, which really frustrated his opponents. But yesterday, Alan Garner playing his power, if he can continue his power, shooting the left corner and shooting the ball like he has been, I think he's going to be successful in this game.
Emmett Peixoto is wearing the red shirt, and Alan Garner, of course, wearing the black one. Don't really hear the court sounds too loudly, or at least the referee. There you go. I can hear that smack of the ball. Referee will be Vic Perez for this semifinal match. We apologize to all of those that tuned in to watch this at 11 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, but we had an unbelievable big ball round of 16. The 8 and 9 seeds were going up after each other, with Benjamin Jimenez and John Iglesias going into a tiebreaker, and the gallery here completely animated so early in the morning. It's nice to see that as we get ready for this semifinal first call and announcement from our referee. So we apologize for the 30-minute wait, and we thank those that were all patient as they awaited this big match. Anthony?
All right, this is the men's semifinals.
There's
Emmett
an announcement.
First game. Zero, play zero.
One thing that Emmett Peixoto does have is gettability. You brought that up yesterday, but Alan Garner's got power, and he's got it with both hands. But probably the reason why Emmett was so successful early on against Alan Garner is the fact that Emmett was able to track a lot of Alan's balls down, and that wore out Alan. So it's going to be really about
precision shooting.
Well, you have to be good with that. You're also going to have to wear down Alan, and that's one reason why. Now, Alan says, you know, that he's not one of the best skid artists out there, and he feels that he's actually probably the worst, in his words. But Emmett's going to keep these rallies alive, and so it's going to be about stamina. If Alan doesn't match up with that Peixoto stamina, he could very well lose. Both of these guys not afraid to go to the ceiling game and to play that methodical Dave Chapman style of handball. Both were trained by Dave Chapman in exclusive one-on-one camps in St. Louis.
And we went over that yesterday, actually, talking about Emmett, how he's going to wear his opponents down by playing that ceiling game, because he can play that, whereas Alan really will just force the shot, keep shooting. But Alan can also play that game as well.
Two, play zero. Zero, play two.
There's a side out there as Alan Garner gets a point on that quick power serve, which is something he's not really known for as a power serve, but you see with this ball, Alan is cranking into it a little bit more. He's got tons of power off the back wall and near the dotted line, so I'm surprised that he's never really developed a great power serve.
And he actually, this morning at breakfast before this match, he was saying that if there's one fault in his game, it's his serve. He doesn't have a lethal serve as you see Luis, Sean, and Andy Nett have, like that real aggressive serve.
Set out. Two, play one.
Nice get.
Set out. One, play 2. Short.
This is 2 games to 15, and the breaker played to 11.
Second serve.
Yesterday, Allen was making all those shots off the back wall, flat killing every single one of them.
You see how Emmett's able to keep these rallies at
Alive.
constantly about 20 shots, and that's going to wear down a lot of players, and it all comes about how great of shape that Allen is in. And you see we're tied at 2, and Allen gave that big breath there.
Sigh of relief.
Allen is a shooter, but if you don't have legs,
All right, hold it, replay.
It's a late call by our ref.
Shot.
you see Emmett's a little frustrated here. Referee says, I thought you wanted the shot.
Together
and he goes,
at 2.
well, I raised my hands right when I took it.
And Allen stopped, which was the right thing to do.
And see that, you see Allen's taking some big breaths here, and he is a shooter. He goes for that bottom board, but if you don't have your legs and your lungs working together,
2.
Right.
and that's why Emmett is so disruptive. And then Emmett can also turn into that very offensive weapon that we saw yesterday, where he was shooting with both hands. That Emmett is the one that was #1 in the world just 5 years ago.
And yesterday he had
Check
about
ball.
6 or 7 aces going down that left wall.
Three, play 2.
Rear miss.
Two, play 3.
Out of all the players we saw yesterday, Emmett was one of those that we put a little star next to because he was most impressive, but then Alan Garner was as well when he played Luis Moreno.
He got out to a quick
Together
lead
at
against
3.
Luis and really never looked back after that.
Hold it, slide. Check ball.
They will call slides here on the serve only, and that's it.
Yep.
After that, you play everything that happens, even if the ball does slide. That's just house
Together at 3.
rules. I should say WPH house rules.
House rules, that works.
Now, those that are traditional handball players don't like it, but we're trying to break that tradition. It really doesn't make sense to stop play for a bad bounce and be the only sport that does do it.
Right, we went over that yesterday.
3.
I really don't know of
Tennis
any.
doesn't do it. Nothing with it.
I don't know
Basketball
it-
took away from it, so.
There's bad bounces even on the floor here that happen all the time.
You saw Alan Garner say move, and like you said earlier, if your feet aren't working,
3,
it's tough
play
to really
4.
get yourself in position to shoot the ball, like we saw yesterday with him. So we'll see. Hopefully his legs warm up and we see a little bit better shooting out of him.
Wow, that's that power pass from Emmett. You and I would call that a kill shot,
Yep.
but really this ball is very quick, and Emmett puts it down and passes with a little wrinkle to make it even more effective.
4, play 4.
We're all together here. 2 games to 15, breaker played to 11. Those might not realize it, but Emmett does own the lifetime record against Alan Garner. And that's a nice little flick between the legs. Crowd's going to give a little round of applause after this one ends right now. There's the
There it
claps
was.
that we hear. Fortunately for us, we don't have a microphone out there to hear that crowd last night, and even this morning, very energized.
4 play 4. I called the serve good. He disagrees. What did you see on the line? They both disagree. Take 2. Oh yeah, short, one short. Yeah, second serve coming. Second serve.
Referee not following what's going on here. That's going to be a big setup for Allen. He's going to put that down as he always does.
Yesterday, his left hand was phenomenal.
5 play 4.
It's one thing you don't want to do as an opponent is give Allen a shot with his left.
Want to welcome in Dave Fink
Hold it, replay.
as he gets ready for his match against Sean Linning coming up after this one concludes.
5
Dave,
play
welcome
4.
to the booth.
Thank you, Dave. Anthony,
Dave, how are you?
very good here. Checking out the action. You know, I know you guys watched, or at least Dave, you did. Allen dismantled
play 4.
Emmett just 2 weeks ago for 5th place in California. This is a completely different match and a completely different Emmett.
I don't know how, Dave, a guy can change in just a 10-day period or a 12-day period like that.
Well,
Is it all mental, do you think, or is it just more confidence with that shoulder?
Well, I completely agree with you, Dave, and I asked Emmett that exact question. He said, you know, I was playing really well coming into the U.S. Open. I just didn't play well at the tournament. He said, I felt like I've been playing well for the last couple of months, and here I'm finally
7 play
playing
4.
like I've been expecting to play.
And it's not like, though, that Emmett is controlling this match right here. Referee almost called bad bounce. You heard his microphone chirp there.
Well, there was no point in the last matchup between these two a couple of weeks ago where Emmett looked in control of any rally.
Yeah, but he's down here 8-4, even though the scoreboard says 6-4. What was the score of that match at the U.S. Open when these two faced each other just a couple weeks ago?
21-10, 21-7.
Okay. But you could say still, though, Dave, that Allen could still put that same type of beating on Emmett here today. I mean, the score is indicating at 8-4 that Allen is certainly on his way. We're playing two 15-point games here.
Well, it was tied at 4 for a while there. Now Allen's kind of
4 play 8.
built a little bit of a lead here, but Emmett just looks a lot more competitive here today, looks a lot more decisive in what he wants to do and what he's able to do. And of course, there's the pre-players curse announcing.
I know that the Peixotos are watching, and they
8 play 4.
also recognize the jinx that you put on their son, and that will probably not be something that you will like to hear in a couple weeks or even a couple hours when you get those text messages blaming you for the announcer's curse.
Actually, they've all erased my number, so I don't have to worry about that. Anthony, I know that you and I have both spent some time in the last 24 hours with the bombshell. Alan Garner had dinner with him, also hung out with him a little bit later. Have you ever seen an athlete more relaxed than Alan going into such a big match?
No, actually, I haven't. And actually, we talked about this yesterday with how
5
relaxed
play
he is. It
8.
doesn't even look like he's out of position on any of his shots. He looks like he's able to get both feet in position and hit the ball extremely well, both handed.
But not only on the court, but just off the court, it's as though he's just here on a vacation. I mean, you see other guys, you know, they're
6 play
rushing
8.
to their hotel rooms. They've got a system. He's just here hanging out. He's having a good time.
I think it actually keeps him more relaxed. You know, he really is just a genuine guy. He doesn't really get overstressed about too much. So I think that's just his demeanor overall.
see the other
It
side,
carries over onto the court as well.
I know,
Okay,
Anthony,
2
you've
minutes,
been
glove
a
change.
really top-level athlete in a number of sports,
there's a
including
top one.
handball and
Or-
football and baseball.
Should be.
Do you think that mentality helps a player, you know, when he's off the court very much mellow
minutes, scores,
and enjoying himself, as
8-4.
opposed to some of these guys that are so worked up that maybe they can't even enjoy themselves, can't even eat?
Absolutely. I think it actually, coming from another athlete who's played a lot of sports, I think it actually makes you a well-rounded individual. You know how to handle some of the pressure. You know how to handle off-court incidents, on-court incidents, back and forth. And I mean, Alan, and we talked, and he's played high school basketball. or high school football and basketball. He said he could dunk a basketball, which was pretty impressive. And then he played tight end in high school football. And like you talked about earlier, Dave, with his speed, he said he didn't have that speed, the retrieving ability, you know, and that's one of his faults, he said. But overall, I think being an athlete and playing other sports is only more beneficial to the game of handball itself.
Well, I believe, and I may ruffle some feathers here, but I'm going to use my announcer's leeway here, that Alan Garner is the next greatest player in the world. I know he's about 26 now, but I feel like just now coming into his own, he's always had the shots, and now if he combines that with the motivation and the desire that some people feel like he's lacked, and I think even he'll admit that he lacked it a little bit last year, I see him as the greatest threat to Paul Brady, and really, when Paul Brady steps away, him being that next Paul Brady. I mean, this guy has shots, Anthony, I know you and I talked about it, that no one else has. I mean, you can jam a ball into his body. He can take a ball that's coming at him at 75 miles per hour and kill it in the corner at 70 miles per hour flat.
And it's all with the flick of the wrist. It's not really, like you said, if you pinch him inside, it's not like he's off balance or anything. So it's natural athlete, very, very, very good. And he has the power to compete at that next level, like you said.
Well, he's certainly proven that, nearly defeating Paul Brady at the World Championships in 2009. Then winning the U.S. Open, a major, in 2010. He's been kind of quiet since then, but certainly this season and this event could be his breakthrough. Now, I know you guys have been working, but for 5th place, it was the Dreamboat Andy Nett taking out Charlie Shanks 25-22 to win 5th place. He'd also beat John Iglesias earlier in the day. So a very good event for Andy Nett, who looked pretty much exceptional in every one of his matches. And for 9th place, it was Abe Montijo getting a forfeit win over Chip Morales, who pulled his back last night in a win over Nikolai Horniak. Abe Montijo coming back to defeat Victor Perez. So 9th place finisher here, Abe Montijo, and the 5th place finisher, the Dreamboat. And here we'll be playing for 1st place, as Alan Garner looks like he's in the driver's seat in game number 1.
This is an extended 2-minute glove change that turned out to be more like 3.5 minutes, as our referee will be fined $35. That's a tough.
Good for you and I. Or does this go towards you and Anthony?
Well, it's Anthony.
He's wearing the blazer.
It goes through the portion where Anthony.
All right, resuming play.
Anthony will get credit.
Okay.
Just credit.
And if he can get up to the air flight, the flight, charge, then he can possibly go and carry our suitcase.
Okay.
Oh, hey, thank you.
But
Hey, I appreciate
we are
that.
tallying it down
6.
as we get back in here. We're 2 games to 15. Breaker played to 11. That looked like it was right on that line or just over it.
Amazing serve from Allen.
A great serve. Took
And
a lot off his serve is what the key was there.
Well, he doesn't have a lot on his serve ever, so taking a lot off
9
is.
plays 6.
Don't get fooled. That might be his serve. But you're right. He is obviously given about 65-70% here. That would be a power
Second
serve
serve.
for me, though.
How can you beat that combination of reverse that stays right on the wall, followed by a flat rollout?
This can be a setup for him. It's left hand. He pushes it over to the right. This
And
ball.
needs to step into that shot a little bit more. He's a little bit off balance.
Check ball, replay.
That's a tough
That's,
replay.
I believe, the last step in Emmett Peixoto's comeback will be setting his feet and getting that fluidity and
9
that
plays
smoothness
6.
back. It seemed like when he was at his best, he just flowed with the ball.
Wow. Look how Allen's able to go over that and keep that ball down from that angle.
And that's what Dave was talking about 5 minutes ago, about how he's pinched inside, but he still can just, the flick of
10
the
plays
wrist can just
6.
shoot the ball from anywhere.
But you see how Allen held the shot there, forced Emmett to commit to the left corner, and then just drove the ball cross court. And now Allen completely in his groove. Emmett probably think about taking a timeout here. That shirt that Alan Garner is wearing, Dave, is a collector's special. I believe that's not even made anymore. It's
11
one of the
plays 6.
best looking WPH shirts I believe that's ever been made.
Short.
No, we actually have tons of those.
Oh.
We're
Second
just giving
serve.
them out to people.
Believe
But for
that's the
you,
new
it's
qualifier
$30.
shirt.
Yeah, for you,
I
it's
believe the
30.
qualifier shirt, though, is a little bit darker blue. That's more of a powder blue.
No, that is the qualifier shirt right there. And Allen is wearing one because he said, you know what, this is cool, and he actually got one off of one of the qualifiers here.
6 play 11.
That's the qualifier. Emmett Peixoto's wearing last year's qualifier shirt.
There's one of those aces that Emmett served the other day as well.
7 play 11.
Emmett's the second guy, Dave, during the Race for 8 tour that has made it through qualifying and become a semifinalist. Now, he didn't do it in the tournament. He qualified, but
Hold it, replay.
there's only been 2 guys, Charlie Shanks and Emmett Peixoto, that started off as qualifiers that advanced to at least the semifinals of an event. So it goes to show you, Dave, just like it's been promoted, it's
play
open to
11.
anyone. And if you can get out here and qualify, you're playing against the best in the world and maybe beating them.
As a qualifier, I'm going to just jump in there. And as a qualifier, I think, truthfully, it's the best thing for people coming up in the game, that to get to these events and come
11 play 7.
play these great players there, at least come watch. You can learn so much from watching these individuals, these top-ranked players, and different things. So if you're out there listening, watching, please.
Amazing shot
And
there
watch
from Allen.
and try to learn that shot. How do you learn that one, though?
Allen serving.
I'm watching, and I don't know if I can learn that.
Well, Anthony, not only what you learn and the experience, but just how much fun these events are. I mean, the WPH just puts on such an incredible event for all these players. Everyone's treated so well. Everyone's playing multiple matches. You can play in numerous divisions. You know, we have big ball, and just it's so much fun that
The
you know,
camaraderie is
well, that's
is
what it's all
unreal.
about,
Yeah,
and I'm
you're-
glad you brought that
You're
up.
absolutely right. The camaraderie is unreal at these events, and especially we talked about this morning. The fans in Tucson are truthfully like no other.
And here's the towel dude.
And we've been fortunate in virtually every city we've gone to where the fans have really embraced all the players and really supported us.
What city did we go to when we landed there and they
Mm-hmm.
came out with the limousine and took us to the baseball game, and then they had that dinner, and you know, they had that little parade that they put on with all
Yeah,
the
I believe that was Salt Lake City. Actually,
was unbelievable, wasn't
on
it?
the bike tour. I mean, we actually biked into town, and they said, you know what? You've been on the bike for 1,300 miles now. Hop in this limo. We're going to throw your bikes in the trunk.
That's right.
And just treat us like
But see,
royalty.
that's what we get, Anthony, when we go to these stops, is that the people really do want to see the top-level elite players, but also they recognize who's behind it all, Fred Lewis, and they really go to the extra, you know, distance to make sure that everybody's comfortable, and they constantly keep coming up to you and saying, do you need anything? Do you want anything? How can I help you?
Yeah.
What can I do for you? And that's really ultimately why we keep going.
Right.
I love it.
Almost got a tear coming out of the eye there, but
All right.
Unfortunately,
resuming
Anthony, Dave Vincent rarely a part of that camaraderie as he
12 play
disappears
7.
literally within seconds of putting down his headset. Really misses out on a lot of the handball talk, the bantering that we do.
The bickering.
play. Second serve.
well, Vincent found out a long time ago that when he goes out with the guys,
Things get crazy.
bad things happen.
That's actually true.
People get kicked out of bars and pubs, and somebody
Clubs.
runs their mouth a little too much. So DV decided to do some discipline in advance.
Oh,
That's what I like to call
okay.
it.
Never party with the boss.
Well, DV
Exactly
likes to
that.
say things. That's,
So now DV's in the third person.
yes.
And that's an
a nice
amazing
kid.
get there from Alan Garner, a guy who says he's not a get artist. Keeps a rally alive with a diving punch cross-court pass, and now he's in position to win this rally.
Wow, look at that.
Great gets.
See, this is the reason why Allen might have troubles with Emmett, because Emmett loves this. And
Oh, wow.
Allen goes down and slides in with one knee and kills it in the right corner, and the crowd's going nuts here. I just wish that they would call a timeout so we could watch that whole rally again. But let's take a quick break here, because they will do a towel timeout, and watch the last couple shots here with an instant replay brought to you by Owen Gloves.
Oh, towel.
Emmett's looking back, wishing that it should have already happened. And let's look at this replay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you come watch these professional athletes play, or these pro handball players play.
This is the replay here. Want to thank David Fink for stepping into the booth to offer some of his
Great advice.
usual commentary.
His input.
Now, you're seeing some play in the deep court here. Allen barely gets this ball to the front wall. It just touches the tip of his fingers. Goes down, slides across to his right against the wall. Emmett thought that Allen was going to poke that down the right wall again. This is where Allen's really dangerous, that left hand. He hits it so hard, Anthony.
Extremely hard.
Emmett's just paddling balls back here. And
Right
Emmett,
there is where
Emmett
he
thinks he
missed a
wins
shot
the
right
rally,
there.
and Allen goes and
13
mouses
play
it into the
7.
right corner as we go back live here at 13-7 with Allen serving. Wearing the blue
Short.
shirt. from San Antonio, Texas. His wife Erica and of
Second
course
serve.
mother Allison, Jim Garner, Alex, Aaron, all watching. And his baby-to-be is sort of trying to watch.
Baby to be.
Yes. Mommy's tummy. Listening, feeling the
14
vibrations.
plays 7.
Possible game point here for Allen.
Short.
I don't think the referee knows this. He did not
He
say
did not.
game point.
We'll see
Second
if he
serve.
says halftime.
No, it's a 2 games to 15 tiebreaker to 11. I don't think the referee realizes this is game point, or else he would have said game point.
Point. It's game.
And there it is. Game is over. Alan Garner takes down Emmett Peixoto 15-7 and closes out the very first game. We'll have game number 2 coming up in just a bit. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes from right now. For Anthony Celesto, Dave Fink, Dave Vincent, thanks for tuning in at racefor8.com.
Yeah, just for this. Yeah, for this round, 15, and then the next game, 15, tiebreaker 11.
Okay, thank you.
Tell. Emmett and Allen. Oh, brought the towel? "90 seconds.
And we are back here in Tucson, Arizona at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club. My name is Dave Vincent as we come right into the booth here and catch the beautiful face of this guy here.
What, you?
No, you. Anthony
Thank you.
Celestino, who is taking over for Dave Fink and the rest of Dave Fink's career. We've actually officially fired Dave Fink from the broadcast booth this morning in advance of what we think will happen during his semifinal match with Sean Lenning. There will be so many fines and a lot of negative things that go on with Dave
Some
Fink in that Sean Lenning
discrepancy.
match. Yeah,
I
so
agree. It's going to be a heated battle.
we also feel that it gives a bad representation to this booth because we're so,
all set?
above the board here.
Absolutely. Gentle.
So you're now
Polite.
the new Dave. I see you're wearing his jacket as well, which we completely appreciate. Earlier, just a few minutes, if you just tuned in, it was Emmett Peixoto losing to Alan Garner 15-7. As Emmett was preparing for this
Okay,
tournament,
Alan
he was
serving
playing
the
2-on-1
second
at the
game.
Olympic Club and some other clubs
0
around
plays 0.
Central California as we go back live to the court here. But that looks like it didn't help much because Alan was a little bit stronger in that first game, 2-15, breaker play to 11. This is traditional scoring, no rally.
What you saw as the game went on, the game progressed last game, was Garner just got more aggressive, I believe, in his shooting and kind of took over and was able to keep Emmett off balance
At bay.
at bay.
You see Emmett letting out that air right before he hits that ball.
Set out.
That's more for control. You see guys like Nadi Alvarado Jr. now do it. John Bike is the one probably most famous for letting out all of his air before hitting a ceiling shot because he doesn't want to overhit
0
it. He
plays
wants to
0.
have control. You see Emmett does it a lot, and Nadi Alvarado Jr. really does it on back wall shots now.
That's what we were talking about, power right there, that hard serve off the left, like just phenomenal left. Jams him inside, but still
0
can
plays
power
0.
it to the left corner for a flat kill.
Like to see Alan Garner go to a private camp with
Second
a coach,
serve.
maybe somebody like Dave Chapman, to work on power serves, though Chapman isn't, but he certainly does know it, or John Biker, a Toddy Severa, to just work for a week on power serves, because I think it's the one thing that he's missing. Although Chapman was able to succeed
Manage
without a
without
power
it.
serve.
He was one of a kind, though. He was able to master
Point.
a lot of different shots and be able to take people out of their own game.
But that,
by playing.
with that said, Dave Chapman never had what Alan just did in that left
never
corner.
had the power. Never, I
One
wouldn't
play
say he had
0.
the power like Alan. Alan has more power than most players on the tour
Short.
today, or in the race for 8 today. We were talking about his workout, and
Second
he
serve.
was saying he was benching 195 pounds and repping it 15 times at every one of his workouts, and now he's went away from that and just does a lot of push-ups, and he says he feels much better with his body and feels more relaxed when he gets into the court. He's not as tight he feels from lifting, so
That's smart.
very smart.
0 play 1. Short.
Emmett's really going to have to play aggressive here and keep him off balance,
Second
which
serve.
is a tough thing to do in order to win this match, I believe.
One play 0.
That was close to a short ball.
Point.
This angle is very difficult. Sometimes live it looks like they're short, and then we watch back and go, oh, okay.
2
It was
play
over by a
0.
foot.
Yeah. I think I've learned my lesson on this camera angle. Now, up top looking down, you can kind of call it. Both players wearing the black shirt.
Was just thinking that.
Both players have played a lot of handball against each other here.
It's a I was going to say that's a great choice by Emmett to keep Alan back after a weak return like that, but unfortunately
3 play
floored it.
0.
I do believe this 2-15 format that we're using this year on the Race Rate Tour will benefit guys like Alan Garner and Emmett, because not having so many matches as in previous tournaments where these guys are just killing each other on the court.
Absolutely, and playing those long, dreadful matches like we saw last year. We talked about Armando Ortiz playing 5 or 6 matches in one tournament and, you know, making it to the semifinals. You're physically exhausted.
4-0.
With the 25 points, it's a quick game. You got to give it your all right away.
Short.
And we found out they're entertaining. Yesterday's matches, we had some pretty entertaining ones. We're 25 to 21.
Second serve.
27-25.
27-25.
So
25-19 yesterday, 25-21, another 25-21. We also saw in the playoffs earlier, that's Emmett saying, I'm not playing very well, but in the playoffs earlier today, it was Andy Nett who defeated Charlie Shanks 25-23 in a playoff match.
that was after he beat Iglesias 25, I believe 15 or maybe 13.
And even those matches are entertaining.
And that was actually Andy's first win in a playoff match that he lost, according to Dave Fink. He was 0-11, I believe, in his previous matches, so he broke a little curse.
Well, Andy is trying to move up in the ranks. And so he's had to go in and apply himself today in the playoffs. Now, when he's been playing in the playoffs, it's been that 9 through 12 playoff. This is his first time in the 5 through 8. And so I believe that the Andy Nett who shows up for those 9 through 12 playoffs is the one that just doesn't really care. It's not much ranking point difference. But this one really does mean something. His quest to get up as high as he can. That's why you saw a win today from him. That ball was short.
Adding on to that,
both agree with my call.
Andy Nett has, over the last year, improved his game tremendously. And you saw that by winning the Worlds, even with partner Luis Moreno. And that just gains confidence for oneself. So I feel that he's playing pretty well, and with the confidence like that, you can carry yourself a long way.
Six play 0.
Allen's starting to pull away here, using those powerful shots.
Second serve.
You heard some of the fans say, what is that ball doing?
7 play 0.
I believe it's how hard Allen's hitting the ball off that 2-wall serve, catching the left wall.
Not just that, but also Allen puts wrinkle. He's not a hop artist, but he spins everything he hits, either going over the top or underneath. And so when he touches a wall, it just becomes crazy. See, Emmett's very upset, frustrated with himself here in game number 2.
8 play 0. Second serve.
It's a great shot by Emmett off balance.
Let's go.
Zero play 8. Point. One play 8. Short.
That's one thing we've seen today a lot out of Emmett Peixoto's short serves, whereas
Second
yesterday
serve.
he was getting those serves over. And maybe it has to do with his shoulder. Having surgery on his shoulder last year, it's a little bit more fatigued.
Yep. Alan.
I believe that was a...
Alan, here's the towel.
Oh, it's a towel, okay.
We have a towel timeout here. It's the R48 Pro season number 2 in Tucson, Arizona. This is a 3-game format. Best 2 out of 3. 15 breaker played to 11. Alan Garner comes in here on a roll as he defeated Luis Moreno last night, 25-13. Actually, 25-21, I should say. Earlier, he defeated Abe Montijo, 25-6. So we're kind of looking at it backwards. Garner, 25-6 in his early round of 16, then goes
8 plays
through
1.
Moreno last night. It was actually bigger than the score shows,
Show it.
as Luis came back late and made it actually very interesting and full of energy here in the crowd. But he got past Luis once again. Usually goes breaker when they play together.
What I've noticed about Alan, if Alan gets a really large lead, it's a tough person to come back on because he's so aggressive in his shooting. He gets more confident when he has the lead.
Well, a couple years ago, Allen won this tournament and seems to play very well in Tucson. Allen is one of those players that can, if he wants to, be the next guy in line to frustrate Paul Brady. I think everybody knows this. Technically sound, not rattled. He's got the
power. Yep. He has all the shots.
Look at that shot.
Great
Point.
shot.
It's a great camera angle as well as it. You're looking at the gun firing the bullet right there from that camera angle. And a point for Alan Garner.
9 plays 1.
Finals will be tonight, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and Allen's just a few points away from being in the finals. So he won the first game 15-7. Now you hear Emmett's father chirping to Emmett saying, come on, let's go. This is the time.
1 plays 9.
Keep setting up Alan.
Well, Allen can get set up on some of the most
very true.
unset up type
Unset up
positions.
shots.
Yeah.
9 plays 1.
But I recommend you don't give him one of those to his right. Very nice serve.
Point.
That ball was unbelievably hit. Now,
That took like a 6-inch hop?
I would say it was more like 6
10
feet.
plays 1.
That's
Another.
short.
Point.
And a flat roll right there, and Emmett just takes the ball and throws it into Allen's back. But let's take a quick look at that replay. I actually think the ball's short on the serve, and then Allen sort of Emmett mishits his return. Allen goes and dives in and rolls it flat on his dive re-kill.
It was a nice skip by Allen, though.
This
'Cause it barely made it to the front wall off Emmett's shot.
replay brought to you by Simple Green. I think this is short. Nope,
Oh, no.
it's just over.
But that's the tough angle we have.
That was the previous serve. That's not the one that I'm talking about. The one that we just watched was the one right after that. That was the serve before it.
That jumped 6 feet.
That jumped what I said, 6 feet. You said 6 inches.
Your, never mind. Personal comment. It's going to take a great comeback by Peixoto to come back and get him here.
Just like the U.S. Open, same type of scores.
11 plays 1.
And like you stated earlier,
Short.
has potential to turn out like they did in the U.S. Open, and as we're seeing here, it's turning out like that.
Second serve.
Nice power re-kill right there from Emmett. But Alan Garner's doing everything right here. Even his mishits are
1 plays 11.
falling in, and his dive re-kills are perfect.
Short.
His serves, not known to be a great power server, but you've seen some aces from his power serve.
Second serve.
And I believe this shortened format is actually benefits a guy like Allen. And, you know, Emmett as well. But of course, I think it makes them more rested for what looks like will be a great final tonight.
Absolutely. That's what, and I talked to Alan
2
this morning,
plays
and he's
11.
actually happier. He's playing 3 or potentially 3
Short.
games to 2 to 15 and 1 to 11. He said he feels that it's going to help him out. If he
Second
were
serve.
able to win this match, he said it's going to be more beneficial for the final match.
And a miss hit right there from Emmett's fish shot down into the right corner. That's a technical not called by the referee. That was detailed by the referee's clinic that we had previously,
11 plays 2.
where you cannot take the ball and hit it
Short.
back to
Short.
your opponent. That ball,
That looked good.
I called it short.
I saw it short,
They both disagree. 2 serves.
but you might have been right. I'm very surprised that we haven't seen the typical break 8 balls during a
match.
Alan Garner match yet.
Yesterday we saw two 2 balls broken against Luis and Andy Nett, both very powerful individuals. Or was it Luis and Andy Nett? Or Sean Lennon and Andy Nett, I'm sorry. It's the first time I've seen these balls
12
break like
place
that.
2.
Concrete walls, and they're very solid, and these guys are just pounding the ball. I think it's great. A lot of players like to complain about a broken ball. I think they should actually hold a parade every time a ball breaks.
Yeah, they're very tough to break, and if you do, you
I've
probably
never
break
done
a
it.
bunch of them.
2
Oh,
plus
no, you
12.
Yeah, I've never done it my entire life. I'm actually hoping it'll happen.
I was giving you more credit than I guess you wanted.
Hold it,
but-
replay.
I've never
replay.
had much credit. Just little interest.
Okay,
This is a banking
2
analogy.
place 12.
little interest. No credit, just little interest.
Just little interest, a little bit of
Understandable.
credit. Little to no credit, a lot of interest.
A nice get. And that's what we were talking about earlier, Emmett's retrieving ability. Able to get all the shots, keep people off balance and frustrated.
Well, you can see Emmett's working really hard right now.
Yeah, you see him breathing heavy in between his shots.
So is Alan Garner, though, but Alan's up 12-2 and serving.
Glove change. Okay, 2 minutes.
And the
Scores
referee going to give a
12-2.
2-minute glove change. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stick around here at racefor8.com.
Don't hurt yourself, there, Bruce. We're worried about you. Bruce, we're worried about you.
It's better as you do more, I guess. I didn't kill myself, right? It was fall off, right?
That's really good. There was about 4 people that were ready to pick you up, so.
Are you just gonna block him when you play?
1 minute.
We'll take a 4-minute break.
And I'll raise you 30 seconds on that 4-minute break. This is a glove change, and this is also the difference between small ball and big ball. As you see, the big ball players just go in there and play, and if the floor is wet, they wipe it up, and the referee calls the score, and they're back playing again. This is now a 4-minute break here for Alan and Emmett Peixoto, but I also thought that that would happen, and that's why I took the break here in the booth to give the viewers back home a time to get up and go get
Okay.
their
Resuming
adult
play.
beverages. I know it's early in the morning in some places. Well,
East Coast, where
West Coast is 11:22.
12 place
East
2.
Coast, it's that's that wrinkle in the
Point.
shot right there. It's a great shot by Allen, keeping him deep in the court, not allowing him to retrieve that ball. That's a beautiful shot.
13 place 2.
Instrumental backgrounds here. Great drive down the wall. Very powerful. And as we see here, this is similar to the U.S. Open where Allen's taking advantage of Emmett.
Possible match point, serves 2.
Here it is, match serves 2 for Alan Garner, and looks like he is
Nice
in the
game, guys.
finals tonight to face either Sean Lenning or David Fink. That will be tonight at 7 o'clock. Alan Garner giving that last hit to the front wall that he does every single time he wins a match. He turns and gives the ball one more last corner
Hurrah.
kill.
One hurrah.
Now we've got Dave Fink versus Sean Lenning coming up next. We're going to have about a 15-minute break here, as hopefully we have Alan Garner coming into the booth for a quick interview. We will wait around a little longer here. The score to close it out was 15-7, 15-2. Is that correct?
Correct. 15,
So we
7,
put
15.
Garner's name onto the sheet here. What, as we look back, as we wait for Alan Garner to step into the broadcast booth here for a quick interview, but as we look back at what Alan did to defeat Emmett Peixoto, yesterday Emmett had all the momentum, and he certainly was the buzz here at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club, not just from the fans, but the players themselves. The players themselves were also talking about Emmett and also kind of fearing him.
They were saying he was playing like he was when he was ranked top on the leaderboard. And we saw that actually. He didn't unfortunately play that well this morning when Alan was able to take advantage and go after him hard. But all in all, yeah, everyone was fearful of him as well. Nice playing, Mr. Garner.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, that was nice. Alan, come over here on this side really quickly here. I'm going to let you have the seat because you need to rest up for tonight's finals tonight at 7 o'clock. As you guys certainly played intense in there, even though the score didn't necessarily reflect it. I know that he has, Emmett Peixoto has a get ability that keeps the rallies going, and I think early on in maybe your career you had troubles with that. But here today, obviously you played very well and dominated, just like I felt you did throughout the tournament. How do you feel right now? And talk about playing Emmett Peixoto.
First of all, it's great to have Emmett back and playing well. I think he didn't play quite as well today, but I think that was because I was passing the ball really well, really accurate, not giving him a lot of setups. But it's great to have him back. Really good.
Now, when you played in the past, it seemed that you guys would go back and forth. Emmett, early on, when you were younger, seemed to have your number, and then you sort of kind of caught up with him there. What is difficult about playing him? Is it the fact that he keeps the rallies alive, probably as much as anybody that you've played?
I think that used to get to me a little bit more. I would get frustrated and try to shoot, but whenever a guy is making gets like that, you just got to tip your hat and keep passing or keep the ball in play, not let it frustrate you, because it really can get under your skin. It's whenever you think you've hit a winning shot and he gets it back. But you just got to keep playing and keep the rally going.
Did you have a game plan going into this match facing Emmett? Was there something that you were really aiming to do or really trying to do to win this match?
It's a good question. I actually want him to make gets, because if he's making gets and I'm running him around, he's not playing offense. And I think yesterday he was on the offensive a lot. He's really good at that too. But if I can make it to where he makes good gets and I just keep it going, that's what I want to do with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that actually is a good question, because you talk to some players and you say, did you come? No, I just came in here to play my game. But deep down, we've all played this game. We all have that one thing that we say to ourselves, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Even if it's with how you set up for your serve and how you're going to go on your first strike, you say to yourself, I'm going to slow this game down, or maybe I want to speed it up. With him, it's certainly hard to play. Leading into this tournament, Alan, how did you prepare yourself for this one to get into shape? Also, U.S. Open just a couple weeks back.
I've been training a lot more outside the court, doing two-a-days, cardio, not so much lifting weights, just doing really hard workouts, doing plyometrics, that kind of thing. And I've been in the court more, practicing, and just, been playing with the guys that I normally play with, and some of the old guys sometimes, just for practice. That's it.
Tell us about the 15-point format here for the semis and the finals. Do you think that's going to be beneficial for you to go back and rest at the hotel or ice down or whatever you do, as opposed to those big, long 21-point matches?
It sounds weird, but 6 extra points a game is a lot. I actually like the 15-point format a lot better. It saves a lot of energy, and I think you get better handball as opposed to playing 21-point games, and it's really long, with a lot of side outs, and 6 points doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is.
Well, you can say that some of these, especially on an Emmett Peixoto match, your guys are averaging about 20 shots per rally. And you take that and you say 6 more points plus the points that he's going to potentially score as well, and you could be somewhere around 200 more shots, not including all the side outs, the side outs and the next side out that follows it, the towel timeouts, the glove changes and all that, that stalls everything. So certainly, that compacts it for the fans and also the players, and that's a win-win for those two, and hopefully the fans at home that are watching could also understand that not having these 2-hour matches and beating the guys up. I was saying this to Anthony, Alan, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but have you seen all the great handball players that are still alive today? They all have 3 or 4 hip replacements, and I mean, I don't have 4 hips, but
well, I'll take
but we're shoulder replacement, that sort of thing. I think last year we really beat up the players on the Race for 8 tour with that pretty grueling schedule, 21-point games. Now we went to the 1 game to 25 format, and I know this is only the one time that you've really played it, but what are your thoughts on that as well?
I don't know what to think about it. I mean, I guess I kind of like it because the value of the point goes way up, and you have to be on from the first hit. You can't go in there and mess around and let a guy get in his groove. You really have to go in there and play hard from the get-go. It's good it's not just 1 game. I mean, at least it's a little bit more, and it's almost like 2 games. But yeah, the value of the point's big. You get, as the tournament goes on, you get better play out of the players because they're not as tired, which is a really good thing. It's good for the fans as opposed to a 2-hour match. It's easy for guys to get tired that way, and then it affects the next match.
No, I agree with you 100%. I've also told some of the people that would talk to me about scoring format changes or the ball, and just say, the pros are the wrong guys to talk to about this, because you don't almost want to go opposite of what they say, in the sense that if they're feeling uncomfortable, then it's a new thing, and if the fans like it and it is exciting, people will adapt. And it's no offense to the pro players, it's just that when we were doing rally scoring, a lot of the pro players didn't like it, Anthony. Didn't like it, but it's because the game was so quick. They found out they had to, a lot of guys would actually have to go and work out more and have more stamina. And so, of course, they didn't like it because they'd have to actually work harder, you know.
Absolutely.
And in a way, it's like you want to go opposite of what the players are saying. If they feel a little slightly uncomfortable, a lot of the, not excuses, but complaints that we're getting last year on rally scoring was that every point counted. I mean, it was like, wow, I feel like I'm, 8-8 in a tiebreaker to start the match.
Right. Well, you're forced
very uncomfortable,
and you're forced to play more offensive.
Right.
When the scoring is like that.
It can be both ways, because if you're in the service box, you can be a little bit more aggressive, but you could reverse that argument and say, well, you're receiving serve every time, even though you're serving. You always have the chance to lose the point. So some guys might play more defensively because of that. Some guys
might play more offensively.
Well,
I prefer to play more aggressively. I mean, there's no point.
And we saw that.
Passive.
We saw that in these matches. You played very aggressive, which why you succeeded so well. You kept them off balance, and your power, your drives were great down the sidewalls. And like you said, you were able to keep your passes alive and keep them off balance. So.
No, Alan,
with this ball, it's a lively ball. So I figured out by playing Abraham that your passes have to be lower, otherwise they're going to come off the back wall. So
tonight you're going to play one of these guys. It's either going to be Dave Fink or Sean Lenning, as it looks like they're getting ready to start this match here, and we'll wrap up this interview. But you don't have a great record against Sean Lenning. You do have a good winning record against Dave Fink, and I'm assuming you would say that you'd rather have Fink than Lenning, but let's just assume that Lenning defeats Dave Fink here and the seeds hold true as we get ready here for this game in just a bit. What would you do on both scenarios? To face Dave Fink, what would you have to do to defeat him?
I just play my normal game. He's a lefty, so some guys would say, well, hit it to his right hand, which I would probably try to direct a little bit more, ceiling shots, but I would try not to play it to his right hand all the time, because then that would start to affect my game. But just do the same thing, push him back and go for kills.
What about to Sean Lenning? you haven't had a great lifetime record against him, and it seems like there's sort of some kind of, he's sort of your kryptonite. Luis Moreno is Sean Linney's kryptonite, and your Luis Moreno's kryptonite. If you guys were going to play in who's the best player in America in a round robin, someone's head's going to explode, if not all
Nobody's gonna
three.
win.
No one will win. You guys are all tied at 3 based on that on paper scenario. How would you go about defeating a Sean Linney?
I think one thing I could do to change up my game is not try to play the front court with him. I've heard some people say that I
semifinals.
really try to do that, but my game
Yes,
is
we
I'm
have
good
2
in the
lines
front
in.
court, but a lot of my games in the back court, I shoot
Zero,
good
play
from back
zero.
there. I play good defense, pass the ball, and I think I can beat him from back there. So I think my goal would be to play more like Brady, just push him back, and not trade blows in the front court.
Well, here's Sean in the front court, and he gets that first side out as we get ready and are now into game number 1. Best 2 out of 3 to 15,
Zero,
breaker to
play
11.
zero.
Alan Garner just defeated Emmett Peixoto there in the semifinals. Is now Sean Linney up against Dave Fink here at the WPH R48 Pro season number 2. And Sean Linney gets the side out and then a point against Dave Fink from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sean Linney from
play zero.
Shoreline, Washington. I don't know if you want to stick around a little bit here, Alan, and catch part of this, or go and ice down and get ready for the hotel.
I'm gonna go ice down and relax for a little bit.
Okay, well, thank you for coming
Zero,
into the
play
studio.
one.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Against whomever you play.
luck.
All right.
Nice playing
See you
today.
guys later.
I'm going to say goodbye to Alan Garner, who stepped in here to give us a little commentary as we rolled through from game 1 to match 1
great
to match
hit.
2 here.
By Sean right there.
Side out.
I want to thank Alan Garner for stepping in and giving us that insight. I'm now sitting into the chair
One,
that he
play
was sitting
zero.
into, and I'm completely soiled.
Short.
I believe it.
Thank you. Sean Linney wearing the red.
Second serve.
Both players play for the Seattle WAC team.
Here's another player where he can hit it from
2, play zero.
any position. Very unorthodox swing. He can take it
Well,
pinched inside. He'll shoot it like Alan Garner. It doesn't really affect him if he catches an 80-mile-an-hour fastball inside.
very similar to Alan Garner, Sean Linney
3, play zero.
is also one of those guys that you can't tell if he is left or right-handed. Remember a couple years
Okay,
ago at the
replay.
U.S. Open, Sean Linney has a torn labrum in his right shoulder, needs to have surgery, plays Dave
3,
Chapman,
play zero.
and takes him with just his left hand to a tiebreaker. That's what Sean could do before getting defeated 11-8
0,
there
play 3.
in the semifinals.
It's a great serve
Point.
by Dave.
Nice little crack serve from Dave Fink. Dave
1,
Fink has
play
been
3.
doing this since the early 90s. He actually qualified at the age of 17.
Hold it. Replay.
Dave Fink won every junior national in every
1,
form
play
of
3.
handball in every age bracket.
Short.
Great stat to know.
Second serve.
He was claiming earlier when he would go into matches, he would go in and just want to kill
Side up.
individuals. And he said as he's aged, he feels that aggressive motivation or aggressive attitude has gone away a little bit. And he says he's really out there he's out there to play hard and really win, but most of all, he's really out there to have some fun and really just be out there giving it his all and not giving,
Did you see last night's quarterfinal match?
Oh yeah,
Was he having fun in that one?
3, play 1.
He actually, I roomed with Dave, so it's kind of funny to say he was actually quite embarrassed of his antics.
I
out
was
on the
actually
court.
embarrassed, to be
I
honest.
was too, to be honest with you, but I'll keep my comments to myself since they're over the live broadcast.
Nice shot right there from Dave, who takes a fish shot over the top, keeps it down the right wall, slides, and gets these side
1,
out.
play 3.
He did say, though, he needs to keep his composure against Sean.
I saw that ball short.
So did I.
I call the serve good.
It will be overturned if we have
We
line
both
judges.
agree.
Wow.
Wow. Could we replay that?
We will,
once
eventually.
this is done?
2, play 3.
You know, probably wouldn't make that much a difference early on, but now it's a momentum changer. We're only going to 15. If we have it, let's look at it. Here is the replay brought to you by Tucson Rolling
3, play
Shutters.
3.
Oh, that was good.
Inconclusive for me. I still thought it was short. Sometimes the ones that are right either on in front of
3,
or
play
behind the
3.
line look like they all hit the line. Like
Point.
that looks short to me. But
It's
that's
a very tough serve.
from this angle, it's very difficult to tell.
4 play
Looks
3.
like Dave was actually leaning right on those serves, thinking Sean's going to go to his offhand.
Side out.
3 serves 4. Dave Fink
3
defeated
play 4.
Sean Lenning as well as Dave Chapman to win the NYAC tournament a couple years ago, and he knows how to
Point.
beat Sean Lenning. It's just very difficult to do, nonetheless. It can be done.
4 play 4.
Such a tough shot by Sean there. Keeping Dave in the backcourt, actually not expecting him to shoot that ball. into
4
the
play
right corner
4.
there.
Point.
Sean Lenning had a lot of crowd support last night. You know, Dave Fink actually went to college here in Tucson and was a member of this
5 play 4.
club. Sean Lenning was a member of the club for the last 2 or 3 years here in Tucson, Arizona. So there's a lot of friends of both of these players. Dave Fink was here back in the 90s when he went to the University of Arizona.
6 play 4.
Walked on as a tennis player onto the tennis team,
Check
and
ball,
here in
replay.
Arizona, it's like the tennis capital of the world, and just to walk onto a team is just, you know,
have to be a
unbelievable.
pretty
6
darn
play
good
4.
athlete to do that. Absolutely.
Short.
Especially at a Division I school as of Arizona.
He just came in and said,
Second
you know, I'd
serve.
like to try out, and they kind of laughed at him, and
Said, who's this guy from
Hold it.
Pittsburgh, right?
No, I'm going to say
Pittsburgh.
point.
That was the
call
right
point.
call.
The thing is, you're going the wrong way.
I agree with that call from
I-
the referee as
Yeah,
well.
but
And I
you're-
agree.
You're going to the left.
And this is the start to Dave Fink's antics.
No. The way it took the angle, I'm going to say point.
I thought that
7
was-
play 4.
The problem with some of the veteran players is that they know that some of the referees don't know every single rule in the
Second
rule book,
serve.
so they're able to get by with much more.
Replay.
Now, when you see guys that get criticized, some of the
Second
older
serve.
players will get criticized for not
No, 2
keeping
serves.
up with the pro game, the
7
pro
play
style
4.
of allowing certain screens to be played through because the pros can adjust. Right? Those referees have a better command of the court, and they don't put up with as much and they know the
4
rules,
play
so you don't
7.
see as much arguing from the players in that sense.
Short.
It's a really strange balance. If you can take
I called it short.
maybe have in some of
They
these
both
marquee
agree.
matches 2
Second
refs,
serve.
the one that really knows the rule book and the one
Short.
that is sort of less a mediator up
The
there.
eye, yes,
Yeah.
the eye, right, absolutely. But like we discussed this earlier with
7 play
Natty
4.
Alvarado and David Chapman, those guys know the game, so well. They're crafty vets, and they'll want to get in the ref's head and take advantage of them. And, and some refs that are rookies, like we were talking about, or don't know the game as well, they'll get in their head and then really to get them thinking, and then possibly give them
4
an
play
overturn
7.
call or something to go their way. So
I agree with you.
that is great playing
Point.
by Dave Fink there. A great serve down the left wall and sits in the middle of the court and kills it. Left corner.
5 play 7. Short. Second serve. Point.
Another great serve by Fink.
6 play 7.
Here you see a 4-point tear by Mr. Fink.
7 play 7.
Here's a huge setup for Dave Fink. Sean Lenny was able to get a hand on it, but not good enough. Dave Fink goes in the lead here at 8-7, just past the halfway point of the first game.
8 play 7.
Wow,
And you
he sneaks
see-
one over to the right.
I was going to say, you see what Dave's doing here is he's actually keeping Sean pretty off balance by going left, right, left, right, left,
First
right.
time out scores
And that's
9-7.
it's a good tactic to
Dave
have.
serving.
Now this is the Dave
Good
Fink
approach.
from a couple years back, 2008 or so, when he played this style of game. Feeling comfortable going back and forth is something that Dave used to do. And when you see players do that, it actually is a little psychological thing to you as well, because You're returning the serve saying, I now don't know where he's going to serve the ball, and I've lost confidence. I'm not able to get these balls back anyway. So now you're completely defensive. You see some guy like Sean Lenning, who's a very offensive player at all times. Now he's starting to doubt
Yeah,
himself.
have a little doubt. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing Dave did say, though. He needs to keep Sean out of the front court and off balance when he plays him.
Resuming play. 9, play 7.
Nice little reverse down the left wall by Dave. Sean keeps giving Dave left hand re-kills or left hand setups.
10, play 7.
Dave Fink
Second serve.
looking really focused right here.
Short.
And do you know, too short serves. It's a mental fault by Dave. Do you know the
7,
lifetime
play 10.
record of Fink versus Lenny?
Short.
Don't have the lifetime record. I think it's only 1 win versus
Second serve.
3 losses, 4 losses. I don't think they played a lot because Dave Fink took 9 years off.
8, play 10.
No, it's 9 plays 10.
9, play 10.
This is the intricate part of the game here. Dave Fink could have got a side out there if he would have paddle killed that into the corner.
Ten, play 10.
Together at 10. Unforced hand there by Dave right there.
Great timeout from Sean Lenning, though, huh? 4 straight
Phenomenal.
points.
11, play 10. Short. Second serve.
We talked about using your timeouts wisely earlier, or on previous broadcasts, and we saw how effective it is right now. This is
12,
5
play
straight
10.
points by Lenning. And now we see he's keeping Dave off balance by going right, left, left, and keeping Dave in the backcourt.
Check ball. Yeah, double. I didn't see it. He carried.
Sean is saying that he hit the
double
ball
bounce.
twice on the.
It was a double hit. You agree with Sean?
And the line judge is going to overturn this. This is going to be. You saw it too?
Well, no, I didn't see it, but Sean is saying that it hit the ground twice before he actually retrieved it. And that was similar to a call that happened yesterday against Dave Fink with John Iglesias. John Iglesias returned the ball after 2 bounces and kind of stood up, and Dave Fink missed his next shot, and they called it side out, but John, there was a double bounce in it. So, they're replaying this.
12, play 10.
Is that the
They
right?
weren't calling a double bounce. They were calling a double hit.
Short.
No,
Where Dave Fink hit the ball twice.
Second serve.
maybe I'm misinterpreting it.
But yeah, he said it was appealing a
double
double
hit?
hit. You don't call a double bounce a double
Point.
hit. And Sean Lenning gets another point here. The ball.
13, play 10.
Now maybe you are right. I'm being overruled by Nikolai Nahorniak.
14, game point, serves 10.
Possible game point here.
Point. I call point.
And there it is. Sean Lenning takes down Dave Fink. Looked like Dave was in
Dave didn't
charge
even-
here. And he was up 10-7.
And then
And Sean took a timeout, and it came on and went on an 8-0
Nine-
run in about
yeah.
2 minutes. And
And
we're
not
kind of
even.
stunned here, and you see the crowd is certainly putting their hands together. And Bill Alcuevas over here couldn't handle it. He had to put his fingers in his ears because he didn't want to hurt his eardrums there. We're going to take a quick break before we get something thrown into the booth and something else breaks. We'll be back in just a bit. Game number 2 here at the R48 Pro 2 season. Dave Fink versus Sean Lenning. Stick around. More action right around the corner. What was that call? Was it a double bounce or a double hit? Twice in your hand? That's what I told you. They were claiming it was a double hit.
Yeah, it was a replay because they hit Sean. His serve just came up out of nowhere. Yes. The new line judge? You want to talk to him? You can't I'll try to ask somebody, but I don't know, like, nobody's up here. Excuse me. You want to line? This means you use my phone, this means you disagree. Every time he's like really nice, but then when he starts playing, he's so weird. Dave Chen's the same way.
You got a new line judge. I'm a line judge.
Yo, I'll probably apologize. I don't really care. He's complaining because Dave Fink hit a ball. You know when you hit a ball and you hit it twice? That's exactly what happened. You could hear it, you could see it, and Sean appealed that, and I'm like, I don't even know if you can appeal it, but I agree with Sean. I say that I'm like, I'm not here to do a favor or anything. I'm just here to watch the game. He was up fucking 10 or 8, and Sean came back and won. All right.
We are back here in Tucson, Arizona at the
Second game,
TRC
Sean
with the
serving.
red-shirted Sean Lenning from
0
Shoreline,
0.
Washington.
And
A lot of
Mr.
shirts there.
David Fink from
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pitts.
Yeah, I don't think there's bad
that-
bounces.
That ball slid.
Only on the serve.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's only on the serve. Yeah, I saw the slide, but
We have no slides here.
0 play 0.
That revolving door is very beneficial to Sean Lennon.
0
He'll
play
bring
0.
it back to the left corner.
Shorts.
Majority of the time, it seems like.
It's very frustrating when the ball does slide.
Second serve.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know, we're thinking about this. When the ball hits a crack on the bounce, and then that crack makes the ball spin sideways, hits the back
1
wall, and
play
shoots
0.
across the back wall, that's actually a bad bounce.
Right.
But it's played
Play.
because there's no court abnormality that made it, bounce bad. And that's why it's okay and acceptable to replay those balls. But here in Tucson, as well as a lot of these other places, there's a lot of these little minor bad bounces and some bad bounces that are just sounds. And someone hears the sound of the ball hit the ceiling or the light fixture and they stop playing. You're like, why are you stopping play? You're
Right.
good enough to move your feet
Absolutely.
one more foot over and
over.
take a step in. I mean, it didn't change anything.
No, not at all.
And that's why we've gotten to that no bad bounce call. But also, as Sean Lenny scores another point here, went out and trained
3-0.
in the high desert with the Alvarados,
Sure.
the Bikes, Chris Watkins, John Robles, those guys. And they have a rule
Second
that they
serve.
play no bad bounces in their court. And Nadia Alvarado Sr. said to me, and he looked right in my eyes and said, well, every bad bounce represents a bad call that the referee makes in the finals of the Nationals.
4-0.
You just have to get over it.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Instead of being mad at the referee, you just have to accept these things as they are part of the game, and then you're just mad at nothing.
Zero
You just
play
go in there
4.
and play the next shot because you've accepted it.
Absolutely.
And so really, we're programming the players just to accept that there are certain things that aren't, it's part of the game.
And I had a conversation yesterday with some gentlemen, and we were talking about Peyton Manning and just how his dad told him one day that said, you can't let what happened affect what's going to happen next. So like if they miss a shot or a slide ball, for example, put it behind you.
4-0.
The next shot, that shot meant nothing. Now it's this time. You have to play for the moment, So I think that's a big aspect of it. Just play, forget about it. It's going to happen. And if it does, you got to deal with it.
Sean Lennon is carrying on with his huge run that he had to end the first game when he took a timeout at 7-10 and came in and scored 8 straight points. Now here 5 straight points to start game number 2. 13 unanswered from Lenning between number 1 and number 2.
What he's doing, though, is keeping Dave in the backcourt and living
5-0.
up front, shooting after he serves, keeping him here. He's cutting the ball off, you see, nice and easy.
This is a different Sean Lenning.
Oh, it's a great shot by Dave. Nice natural down the left wall.
No more cameras downstairs, please. No more pictures. 0, play 5.
The flash is really affecting Dave Fink here.
Well, he hasn't scored a point because of that flash that took place
Hold it, replay.
there at the end of that last rally when Sean was hitting the ball.
0, play 5.
Wow, that's a nice shot right there from Fink as he pushes it down that left wall.
That's one of his best shots, truthfully. That in the left corner. He can
1, play 5.
draw that left wall extremely well.
Not only one of his best shots, but he can do it from anywhere on the court. Now he looks like he's all out of sorts.
And that's what we were talking about. He shoots that left side. He'll be
5, play
all
1.
the way on the right wall and set up, and he'll try to
Shorts.
drive it, push it down the left wall, or he'll shoot that left corner, and he's going to try to hit a
Second
deep
serve.
angle so his opponent can't retrieve it. You hear Sean yelling at himself, knowing he should have made a couple of shots or not giving him the setup that he gave him.
One, play 5.
One plays 5. We have it 6 on the scoreboard.
Well, Sean will score 6 points, so we can just leave it there.
I'm not
It'll
doubting
happen
that.
eventually.
I'm not doubting that. And here's Mr. Fink's tactics of the towel. Yesterday we saw Dave use the towel as his timeouts. Yesterday he probably brought in the towel how many times? Maybe 30?
Many times.
30 times, which equivalated to 4 minutes of timeouts.
Did you just say equivalated?
Is that I make my own words.
That is completely made up, and I
But-
love it.
But you know what? I try to make up some words because that way not a lot of people know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's good when you're doing a live broadcast.
I know.
Equivalated is.
But it's equivalent to.
It's equivalated. That's a
5.
George Bush type thing.
George Bush. That's very
I-
true.
he'd be like,
You know.
I equivalated that. Very similar to something like that.
Well, please don't ever say I'm like George Bush.
You see Dave Fink scoring some points here. That's a big setup for Sean. He hits it right in the ground. Now we're all tied at 5. Sean was up 5-0. Dave Fink now on his own 5-point run.
Together at 5. Short. Second serve. Check ball.
It's going to leave a mark. Dave Fink looks exhausted. out
Together
there.
at 5.
Nice shot by Dave there.
Six play 5.
Nice.
Very aggressive play by Dave Fink.
7 play 5.
Dave Fink now on his own 7-point run after Sean Linney went on a 13-point run between the first 2 games. Dave has that opening lane, and then he goes to the corner. Sean overplays it, and he's probably going to call a timeout. There's also going to be a towel, and if Sean was looking right, he could have waited for the towel,
1 minute.
then called a timeout. Probably got 2 minutes out of it, but Sean Linney takes it, and it looks like Dave Fink is completely in charge right now. And Sean Linney is
Changing his gloves.
changing his gloves. He didn't want to touch it with the other glove because that one's not wet. He's also taking a quick breath here. We appreciate the fact that you've tuned into this live broadcast using the R48 Pro Ball. Sponsoring the Race for 8 this year is the R48 Pro, and that's why you are tuned into this broadcast that we're bringing you today here in Tucson, Arizona at the TRC. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside Anthony Celesto, flying in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where you played in the qualifier. You were eventually into the round of 16. You were up against Dave Fink. What did you find was the most difficult part when playing a Dave Fink about trying to get him out of the service box and getting in there and getting your own serve?
And that was truthfully, that was the hard thing, is getting him out of the service. But he likes. Let me see. He actually. What frustrated me is actually that he's a lefty. To be honest with you, I don't play. I mean, I play one lefty, but it's not at this level of competition. And playing righties all the time, and then coming and trying to adjust to a lefty, it's the serve, seeing the serve differently, seeing the way he shoots it. You know, he really is aggressive on pushing the balls, driving the balls down the walls, and that was one of my biggest concerns about him, was keeping me off balance, because I like to retrieve a lot, but he's shooting them low enough where I wasn't able to get him.
All right, resuming play.
But if he
8
can shoot
plays
that left
5.
corner, he's going to be successful pretty much any time he plays.
Wow. Unbelievable return of serve right there from Sean Linney, who closes out that 8-0 run from Dave Fink. Sean is
5
so
plays
remarkable
8.
after timeouts.
I was going to say another useful timeout.
Short.
Very useful timeout. We saw last game, similar
Second
score, and it kind of turned around.
That was just a terrible return, but what else could Fink do there?
It's a smart pass by Sean there.
No, I think you just got to play everything. On the serve,
Now Fink is just
Trying to
I
find
saw
a
it
way
good.
out.
One agrees, so. Right, yeah.
And you hear some fans in the background saying it,
6 plays
it
8.
didn't check, just play ball, but
well, Sean puts so much spin on the ball that everything is checking, everything is topping. And look at that right there from Sean. He hits the ball flat, goes over the top of it slightly, keeps the ball bound. You see a lot of guys will hit the ball
7
low,
plays
but it
8.
pops up. A lot of the older guys will say at some of the elite camps, why does that do that with me? And Sean does it and it stays down. Well, Sean, Luis, Paul Brady, Alan Garner, even Dave Fink, they hit balls over the top, which is their natural. Nadi Alvarado Jr., probably one of the best. His natural is a reverse. And you see Sean Linney and also
8
the
plays
elite
7.
players able to go over the top of that ball.
and that's I was gonna mention that and say 99% of the elite players all will come over the top on their balls. That's just their natural swing. And that's
If you are back home and you're teaching a young kid how to
7
play,
plays 8.
even if you don't have it, try to tell them and teach them to go over the top of the ball. That's what
First timeout, 1 minute.
the Fred Lewis's,
Scores 8-8.
John Hennings did when they were teaching Luis Moreno how to play. That was one of the things they really instilled in him, is go over the top of the ball to keep that ball down. And you can see with a guy like Luis Moreno, it's just a natural thing for him. We call it a natural when you go underneath. Is that weird? But the top elite pros are all naturals, are the reverse. We're all together at 8 here. It was Sean Lenning in the first game, down 7-10. He took a timeout, scored 8 straight points, carried that into game number 2. He was up 5-0, and then Dave Fink scored 8 straight points to go up and look like he was in charge. And then Sean Lenning calls a timeout again and gets some more power pellets. Comes back in, and he gets a side out and 3 straight points now to tie it at 8.
And a timeout by David Fink.
Now let's see if Dave Fink can gather some of those same power pellets and go on a tear here, get Sean Lenning out of the box. But it's really about a game of momentum here. Maybe it's a game about who needs power pellets.
Well, yeah, power pellets
Resuming
always
play.
help, but the momentum is a big thing.
8
Like you
plays
said,
8.
that once he took that timeout, it was kind of Sean again, what he did last game.
Yeah. Second serve.
If Sean's able to stay up front like this and keep cutting the ball, I think Dave's going to have some trouble.
And that timeout, not necessarily the timeout that affected it, because there was a replay there, but Dave Fink did get the side out after the timeout, breaking the momentum and getting a point. Last year's stats had over 70% of those that called the timeout came in to do something productive. Over 70%, which is a pretty good number for those people that deny taking timeouts because they don't feel like the timeouts are worthy or they don't need them. 70% of the time, it's not just a momentum breaker, but you're actually doing something.
Right.
And you see Fink got a side out, that's one thing, and he gets 2 more points. That's 3 things he's done since this.
So we can say it's been a successful timeout for Dave.
10 plays 8.
It's a big setup. Dave
And
knew
that's
it.
what Dave doesn't want to do. He's trying to catch the sidewall before it even makes it to the back wall.
Well, what you don't want is Sean standing where he's at, because he can cover the court from where he's standing. Dave paddles Sean back. And that's a beautiful corner kill right there from Dave Fink, now getting Sean a little frustrated. You do not want a Sean Lenning standing at the dotted line, right direct in the middle of the court. And your defense is a paddle shot. 4-well players are different group of individuals. You see they're calling for a towel after every single shot, and you see no players ever sliding and falling down because of that.
Right.
But yet the court looks like it's like a swimming pool in there when you watch these matches, but I've never seen anybody actually fall down yet.
11 plays 8.
Or slide or miss. Or
it could be, like you said, it could be the veteran move, the veteran timeout move. Uses it to keep him off balance, give him a little bit of energy, catch his breath. But we discussed that earlier, Dave, about how the big ball's played, and it's just all go, go, go. You know, they like to keep the momentum of the game going, and not a lot of timeouts or intermission breaks.
Hold it, replay.
Dave Fink was actually in charge of that rally there toward the end, and he ended up hitting the ball right back at himself and at Sean instead of poking it down that left wall.
Right, he should have. He should have pushed him because he had Sean behind him on the right side. He should have pushed it down the left. Don't wipe it off with your glove.
This is also another 4-wall oddity.
Good word.
It gives another 10 more seconds, 15 seconds added onto the play. More time to breathe.
11 plays 8.
And now it's 12-8. Dave Fink trying to make this go to a tiebreaker, and it looked like we were writing them off early, but not necessarily true here.
The timeout has been effective. He's went on a 4-point tear, right?
Second serve.
4-point tear and a side out.
And
Consider that 5.
That ball slid.
5 points.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
That's correct. Dave Fink is right.
On the serve, you can do bad bounces. Yeah.
No bad bounces, only a slide.
It's only slides. Did it hit the slide? Because if
There are no bad bounces on the serve.
Only a slide, correct?
You're right, Dave.
No bad bounces, only a slide.
That's right. There's no bad bounces at any time, even on the serve. Just slide balls on the serve.
13 plays 8.
That's the way it's written in the rules, and that's the way it is.
And that gave Dave another point there.
Check ball. Yeah.
Dave asked if that would have made
13
it.
plays 8.
Hit him in the middle of the back, basically.
Well, Dave.
Yeah, but that's like any athlete. That's like sliding into first.
Yeah, but you
sliding
don't want
into
to do that
second
against
singles.
Sean. That'll actually make Sean mad. And I don't think you want to make Sean mad.
Dave missed a nice
Sean
setup
could,
he wanted.
Sean could go on a
Plays
7-point run in less than 2 minutes. And that, he doesn't mind being disrespected on the bad bounce call. But he does not like the, would that have made it when it was
Right,
obvious
when
that
it
it
was
would have.
obvious.
That stuff doesn't work well with Sean Lenning, and I could see him doing some damage here. But let's just see what happens here. Game number 2. Sean wins the first one, 15-10. Game 2 now. You see Fink is in the lead on the scoreboard there at 13-9.
Nine plays 13.
Very good return from
It's a rare miss by Sean there, though.
Dave Fink
13
and
plays
Sean.
9.
Just was unable to get it here. Wow. Now
Both of us amazed by that shot by Dave.
Dave Fink now serving to take game number 2 after this towel timeout. That probably shouldn't happen.
He came across his body from mid-shoulder, maybe a little bit lower, and brought it to left wall.
With his offhand.
Right, with his offhand.
Let's take a look at that instant replay if we can.
an
Never
impressive
mind. Let's
shot.
hold on. Let's not, because we'll be serving here at game point. I thought Dave was going to take another 2 minutes to wipe that floor. The atmosphere inside this club is completely electric right now.
14 game point serves
Fans
9.
cannot feel at home. Just
Shorts.
plug in some of the World Cup soccer crowd action and
Absolutely.
in the background, because that's what it's like out in the lobby right now.
There's
I can hear it through my
100+
headphones.
fans. 100
Second
fans out
serve.
there. 100+ fans out there cheering on the hometown.
Check ball.
That ball hit Dave Fink right square in the face. I don't know what
I
Fink
don't know if Dave kept looking up at the ref, wondering if it was going to make it to the front wall, or
don't know exactly what Dave is wanting from the referee
Looks
here.
like-
Maybe he's wanting a new ball.
oh, he was having the ball wiped off by the
Okay.
ref.
14 game point serves 9. Short.
And he's lucky it was,
Was.
because Sean just rolled that out. Camera a little
Second
too close
serve.
there. Didn't see what actually happened, but it didn't matter. It was short.
It's a potential setup for Dave.
That was a good return from Sean Lenny.
Very good return.
Let's see what Sean can do here.
9 plays 14.
There's one for Sean, now at 10-14.
10 plays 14.
See how Sean's just cool as the other side of the pillow. Wow, good shot from Dave Fink down the middle.
Keeps aggressively shooting. That's what Dave has to do.
Well, he is a shooter, very aggressive. Now Dave's going to ask for the towel again and slow this down more. Nope.
Game point serves
wants
10.
it.
Wow, nice shot
Great
right there
shot.
from Dave Fink, forcing the tiebreaker. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Stick around here for game number 3. Dave Fink, Sean Lenning at racefor8.com. Stick with us.
They both got 10, so I'm just gonna have to flip a coin.
I'll put it away.
I'm surprised Fink is not going off this game. It's like he's actually concentrating. Don't worry about it. He'll eventually do it. Tiebreaker, right?
Come on, mijo. Qué bueno. Come on.
Both of you guys scored 10, so I'm just gonna. Yeah.
Flip the coin.
So, John, I'm asking 1 or 2. I'll flip a coin, yeah.
Hold on, you got one.
I don't have one.
You guys want it on the floor? You want it on the floor?
Okay. Sean, you call it. Heads? Okay, you serve.
That's right, Larry.
We are back here in Tucson, Arizona. It is buzzing out in the gallery as the fans are truly entertained by Dave Fink going into this tiebreaker up against Sean Lenning.
0, play 0.
You hear the call from the referee. It's 1 game to 11.
You see Dave Fink had the serve there. He scored more points in both battles.
Side out.
Sean paddles that ball there. Yet actually it was both scores were
0,
10.
play 0.
Oh, they were. I thought it was.
Nope.
Short.
I thought there was a 9 involved, but no,
So
it was
was I.
10. It was a flip of a coin.
Second serve.
Nice retrieve by Dave.
And
He backed out of your way.
now you see the crowd getting into it here like it's a soccer game.
1, play 0.
Rooting for the hometown boy. If he's hometown anymore, I don't know if he's still.
Not really. There's a side out there. Fink gets that aggressive left corner kill, or excuse me, left sidewall kill.
0, play 1.
He redirects that ball and sends it right down the wall. Nice shot right there from Fink. Now he's at 1-1 here.
Beautiful get by Dave.
I agree. These guys are fighting here, and I love it.
Me too. Because
I agree. Sean's right.
upset. He shouldn't be using the towel every time he ever dives. It's not even wet.
Completely agree
Now,
with
is
Sean
there a-
Lenning here. It's annoying as a fan. And And this is all part of the veteran move from Dave Fink. He's now got the towel a couple times. He gets an extra breather here. He's arguing with Sean Lenning. Sean didn't wash the floor good enough.
I like this, though. I like the heated battle.
One, play one.
But you said earlier, the last thing you want to do is really upset Sean, because he's...
No, you don't. You don't want to pick a fight with him.
Well,
I don't want to play a mad Sean Lenning. I'll tell you
One,
that
play
right now.
one.
oh, great serve. You
Two,
hear some
play
hoots
one.
and hollers from the crowd.
Now you hear the crowd's completely behind Sean Lenning, trying to get underneath
Three,
the skin
play
of
one.
Dave Fink. Dave says privately that
Shorts.
he actually likes that. That would have been a great serve right there if not for the short.
Second serve.
I don't know how many people would like that.
Privately, he likes that, but yesterday he claimed
Timeout. Scores
when
4-1.
Iglesias
1 minute.
screamed real loud when he was close, 25, Dave felt offended. He said he felt offended by that. He was wondering why he was doing it. And I told him, I said, it's all part of motivation.
Well, he did it because he wanted you to be offended.
Right, absolutely. Saw a timeout by Dave Fink.
Resuming play.
And the last couple timeouts we've
play
seen
one.
taken by each individual, it's been a side out
Shorts.
and then a run of 3 or 4, 5 more points. So we'll see what
Second
happens
serve.
here.
Big setup for Sean Lenning. And he hits another big setup for Dave Fink, who goes over the top, but hits it right to Sean. That was a bad shot from Dave Fink, to be honest.
Five, play one.
He knows it. Oh, great serve.
Sean has stepped up his serves here, Anthony.
6, play one. Short.
Oh, did you see that wrinkle on there?
Oh, yeah.
That would have made it over. That might
But,
have been a different.
you know, in
Second
all
serve.
fairness, for those that know how to wrinkle a ball on a serve, the ones that are short are the ones that hop the most. Sorry, you don't know how to hop the ball, so you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, great touch by Fink, changing the pace of the game right there.
See how Fink looks back to the crowd there?
Gave Sean a little look back, like,
1, play
What's up?
6.
Dave doesn't know how to do it as cool as guys like
Second
John
serve.
you and I.
Iglesias giving the wink back to the crowd. I want to see Dave throw in some winks when he makes a good shot. Not just a look back, but a look back and a wink. Maybe even,
Okay.
you know, bend the knees just a little bit when he does it.
oh yeah, I thought that ball took off, but
What was that?
See that Sean Lenning was doing a little
Okay.
trash talk there, saying, I don't want to get out of control here, but I'm going to call for the towel.
right.
You know, kind of getting into Dave's head just
Yeah,
a little bit, and then
absolutely.
Dave turns right around and says, we need a glove
Glove
change.
six,
His
play
gloves are
one.
wet. So Dave's trying to level that argument back out.
Another tough shot, keeping it right on the wall.
Well, Sean's made some really
7, play 1.
amazing shots here.
7-1. Another great shot. Oh, great. Great hustle by Sean.
I thought, yeah, I think he put a hand on it.
I thought he got it.
You see now Sean is
8,
also
plays
saying,
1.
I need the ball and I don't want a towel. And now Dave's going to,
Frustrated.
he looks back to see who it is that's
9,
actually
plays 1.
Clapping.
clapping for Sean Lenning, and he'll make sure to address that when he walks off the court.
10, match point, serves 1.
There's a lot of fire here. 10-1, game point and match point. And Sean Lenning's in the finals. Sean Lenning wins
Played very well.
and takes down Dave Fink here. And you see Dave sticking around because he wants to tell Sean that he apologizes. See right here?
Yeah.
This is the gentleman of Dave Fink. Sean Lenning now deservingly so going into the semifinals once again in Tucson for 2 straight years as he defeats Dave Fink in the tiebreaker. He will face Alan Garner tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. We'll have more action in just a bit. Stick with us at racefor8.com.
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh,
Woo!
don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on. I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
Hey, she took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.